Yo, check it. This about to get deep. I know it's been a minute, but I'm about to touch on a topic that I know ain't nobody talking about. So just know, I'm the first one to put this out. And if anyone else does after this, and they already knew about it, they're part of their system because they kept it a secret. So I'm gonna try to keep this simple and explain this from my perspective. So I explained several times how we're trapped in a system of energy exchange. And the stock markets is literally our lifeline. We are the stocks and bonds because the whole system is based off our SESA QV trust, which is connected to your social security number. So the SESA QV Act of 1666, out of all numbers, which is the number of man, states that if you don't claim yourself alive by the space of 7 years, you're considered lost at sea and you never made it up through the birth. This alone proves the war in heaven because they are coercing us to join their legion of the dead, which are the corporations, hence your social security number. Anytime you use your social security number, you are creating a security, which is a fungible, negotiable financial instrument that holds some type of monetary value. This is the credit. The agency that regulates the security is called the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, in short, the SEC. It was created after the Wall Street crash of 1929 to enforce laws against market manipulation. So basically, they crashed the markets on purpose and came back acting like they're their saviors. This was really created to make sure no one else can take over the markets besides them. Also, notice the year, it's not too far after they took over during World War I. And it's called that because it's a war of the worlds, meaning the war in heaven. And we both should agree that heaven will be a different type of world. And again, this is more proof of the war in heaven. And it's the same war we are in today. We never won. Go watch my video, History Repeating Itself. I show you all kinds of proof of this happening. Financial securities document a certain monetary value. It refers to the stocks and bonds, which are negotiable. As I said before, we are the stocks and bonds. So again, the whole thing is based off of us. So I'm gonna keep this simple. Just look at equity as a positive value and look at debt as a negative value. But derivatives comes from the underlying value of an asset. Now this is when cryptocurrency comes into play. There's something called an ETF, which is considered a financial instrument. ETF is short for Exchange Traded Fund, but I like to call it the Electronic Trust Fund. It says when you invest in an ETF, you get a bundle of assets you can buy or sell during market hours. In cryptocurrency, market hours is 24 hours a day, so it never closes, meaning you can trade anytime. Now look at these differences. This is how they're controlling everything by not giving people chances. See, with ETFs, you don't have to have a minimum. Let's just say you want to work with a bank or something, and they say, hey, we need a minimum of $25,000. And you know a lot of people ain't got $25,000 just throw around. And then on these, you can buy or sell immediately during market hours. Like I said, that's at any time. Versus not being able to sell immediately, but it's only when you're able to sell on their timing, basically. Manipulation. And then you see other investors impact your tax situation, right? On the other hand, it's only your personal tax situation. So what does that mean? It places everyone on a level playing field when it says individual. So all the corporations can gang up and try to, climb the ladder. This will be opening the door for us to take our power back if we know what they're doing. So on Fidelity, I want y'all to notice they call ETFs are only an investment vehicle, a wrapper for their underlying investment. Let's say the market crashes and you got 10 whole Bitcoins. You could possibly lose it all because it's not on the records. It's basically a IOU because we use United States dollars, which is debt notes, to buy it in the first place. But if you got a Bitcoin ETF, it is on the records. You may lose value on it, but you'll still have those 10 Bitcoins because basically it is in a trust and it cannot be touched. That is why it's called a wrapper, because it goes around it and it carries something inside of it, protects it. For instance, Lilith, Queen Elizabeth, how she stole everything and put it in a trust. This is how everything is being passed down through her family. Meanwhile, we still never claimed ourselves as alive under the SESA QV Act of 1666. So she's been claiming our unclaimed property while we get nothing. Now this is literally on the SEC website. Like I said, what this is earlier, the one that regulates the securities. as a result of HR 192. From that day forward, no one has been able to lawfully pay a debt or lawfully own anything. The only thing one can do is tender credit in exchange for debts, with the debt being perpetual. So basically they're saying we're giving them our credit to be in debt forever. Now please make that make sense. Leave a comment below because I'm having trouble trying to understand any of this. But y'all see it clear as day on the SEC website. So back in the day, they tricked everyone to give up their gold. After that, they started forcing people to accept that the bank's gonna transfer our credit into automatic debit. This is how we end up using the United States debt notes for public and private. Obviously, if it says debt on it, it has no value. It's an IOU. This is how they tricked us all, and they're trying to do it again. If you don't wake up, you'll be trapped in their system because it involves the nanotech and the hot sauce 19. Because when y'all hear about the blockchains, they are talking about us and the DNA they mix them with in order to have the data stored. I made plenty of videos about that going in deeper details. But anyways, it connects to the cryptocurrency and that will make you their slave forever. Now come close and read this. Like I said earlier, just know I'm the first one to show y'all this so we can cut this short. Exchange Traded Note, the ETN, is a debt security issued by a bank, backed only by the credit of the issuer. So basically, this is a new debt note that is the exact same thing as the United States dollar. Like I said, they're trying to run the same scam over again. Now I want y'all to come closer and read this now. If you made it this far, you're a real one. You've seen what's going on. You see where it's created at in May of 2000? Israel. Like I said before, it means Israel. Is Isis, which is Queen Elizabeth, who is Lilith. Ra, which would be Alexander. And El, as in the Elohim. And the leader is Jacob/Yaqub. They issue the financial instrument for Tel Aviv. 25 leading corporations in Israel. So imagine the same people that was running the previous slave system is trying to put a whole nother slave system on top of a new system. Y'all gotta wake up. As y'all can see, in 2006, Barclays Bank took the credit for developing the ETNs. Obviously to throw people off from Israel. Again, ETNs is like an IOU, like our money or buying a regular Bitcoin. A debt security versus real credit, like buying a Bitcoin ETF or bonds. So check it. If Treasury Bonds finances this triangle GOV, but the GOV buy all the Treasury bonds using debt notes backed by Treasury bonds. So basically they're funding themselves and we're held balancing their books. Meanwhile, most people are tricked to pay taxes because they think they're funding the GOV. The same corporation with limited funds because they can print a limited amount of money and stealing our credit out our CCQV trust by using our social security just to live in large. Like I said, they're doing the same thing. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF hits record volume over 1.3 billion, second day in a row. Just in case you don't know who BlackRock is, it's the world's largest assets manager and it buys the ETFs from its own company. How does that make sense? Now here's BlackRock's largest investments. Notice the iShares Core S&P 500 ETF. Just in case y'all know what the S&P 500 is, the top 500 US corporations in the stock market. So like I said, an ETF is like an electric vehicle. So if there's an ETF for all these corporations already, what does that mean? They can transfer everything from the stock market into the crypto market overnight, like I've been telling y'all. Like I literally just showed y'all proof Barclays took credit for the first ETN. But yet they encourage people to enter a system that they know that's about to crash. Again, this is clear proof. Well, I hope y'all learned something and have a better understanding on how they came up with this fraud system to begin with. Enough to stop you from supporting the new one they're creating now. Anyways, y'all know how to keep it. Y'all be guys. Peace.